All right, everyone. Welcome to another workshop with Color Hacks. Obviously, your founder, Dooney Dio Coyote, and his friend, Darren Perkins, also a founder. Today, we have brought a workshop to you from Galicia Gordon of Leading Learners. So welcome, Galicia. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you for coming in. We really appreciate you spending a lot of this, Friday night, empowering the youth and just impacting others. So, before we get started, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and this company.
Yeah, for sure. So just starting off, so I had started and officially incorporated us in January of 2020. So it's been a full year and we've been working consistently. So Leading Learners is a global platform for free and accessible student resources. So really everything you could imagine just on one platform. So we have things like subject specific resources or scholarships, little 1 minute video guides, really everything you could need on a single platform.
All
And
right. So, I guess, Dooney, Darren, is there anything you'd like to add before we start the workshop?
No, I'm just looking forward to seeing what she has to say.
Yep.
All right. Galicia, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Okay, so today I will be speaking about expansion and expansion 101, getting your idea out there, turning your idea into reality. And I thought this is a good topic because people usually come to hackathons sometimes to start their first techie product or service and really just testing their abilities. So I thought it would be nice to build that bridge from an idea and turning it into something quite big. So here's a little bit of an outline. First, I'll talk about me. I'll give you a little bit of background inspiration for why I started and why I continue going. A little quote to reflect on, and then talking about finding the right people, some strengths and weaknesses when I was starting off, and some resources to establish your very own project. So to start off, so I had founded the organization, like I mentioned, January of 2020, and so now that was when I was 16, and so now I'm 17 now, and so we had actually reached 100,000 students globally through the platform. It's been an incredible, incredible journey. And following on with that, so like I mentioned, we do promote scholarships for students, and in the course of 1 year, we had actually promoted over 3 million, sorry, in scholarships under a year of operations through organizational partners and university partners, and it's been really, really great. Another thing, little fact about me, I'm fully trilingual, and I will get into how that came about in a few slides. But yeah, if you'd like to type any questions in any of those languages, fully able to do that. And then other than that, I had some little distinctions, some little awards here. They're all there. And as for a Google Ads grant, I will get into that near the end, so you can see that. Um, at the bottom, I put some programs. So I've done lots and lots of judging and mentoring over this lockdown and COVID-19 period. So you're definitely able to find so many nowadays with this lockdown, like I mentioned. And of course, this is just a small little section of everything I've done. And it's been really a crazy journey just getting involved in the community and getting involved in the business space. So that's a little bit about me. And so here's kind of what the platform looks like right now. So we have our resources categorized in three little sections. So first we have resources, and like I mentioned, that could be subject-specific resources, like skill building guides and things like that. For materials, we'll have free printable sheets. So we have, for example, a post-secondary planner, things that you could print out to get your life all organized and everything. We also have classroom posters, and abundance of materials for you there. And then as for tools, like I mentioned, we have these little video guides so you can pick up a skill or hone into a skill even more in a minute or less. And we also have study timers, really so many great things that you can check out. So for background, why I started the organization and why I started the platform and why I keep going. So to start off, I came from a really diverse background and I struggled to adapt to my circumstances. So sometimes I would have family members, and we have a really big family. Sometimes I would have family members who could speak fully Spanish, a little bit of French, and no English at all. And some would just be a whole conjumble of everything. So it was kind of really hard to learn all these different languages and different linguistic skills at a really young age. And so I thought that going through that process of learning these different languages, I wanted to make it easier for students by having language-specific resources and linguistic resources. Another fact, I had entered high school with really zero ideas of what I wanted to do after high school. I tell students it felt like a constant loop of just completing assignments, and I really didn't know where all this work or all these efforts would add up to and accumulate to. And I think that there are kind of two type of people going into high school, like really ambitious individuals and those who are just following the crowd. I was kind of following the crowd at the time, not gonna lie. And lastly, I had experienced like lots and lots of peer pressures and even a little bit of familiar pressures entering, high school and trying to determine my career route. I think that with girls and like even with guys, like we will try to look up to our parents if we do have that parental figure. So for me, I was looking up to my mom because she had went into medicine and I thought that I just had to do that, but I really didn't really like blood and I didn't really like all of this medicine stuff. So I was like, this is not for me. I don't see myself doing that. And then as for why I keep going, I had realized now, like through all of this work, that there are literally thousands of students who are in my shoes or in my past shoes and would like to get out of them. They really want to know where they're going. They want to have a resource and a really useful tool to go through their academic lives feeling really supported and having support by students. So like me, who is running the platform with our student-led team as well. Another thing, I've learned to honor my pace, and now I live every day knowing and feeling content that I know where I want to go in the future, and I feel really happy about that. And lastly, of course, feedback and student stories. So at Leading Learners, we have a box and like a little support box where students and parents, educators, counselors, really any of our visitors could let us know what they would like to see, what they would like us to improve on or further have for them available. And it really inspires me. So here's a little quote to reflect on. I really did like how Meredith Mahoney had said, know where you want to go and make sure the right people know about it. And I will get into why in the next slide. So I really feel like knowing the right people has helped me develop the platform and get to have such a really supportive team of students in high school and post-secondary to allow us to continue growing and to allow us to put out the right resources for students. So a little question I have here is, how do you find the right people? So how would you find someone if you're trying to start out a company, an organization, business, really anything that you're trying to put out there? How would you try to find the right people? And I'll get into my ways after you guys can type up for another like 30 seconds I'll give you.
All right, I know it hasn't been quite 30 seconds, but I thought I'd go and throw in a little bit of mine. So for me, coming from small towns growing up, a lot of what I did starting off was I would ask close friends for advice and input, but that just, I guess that just showed me the right person, but also, hey, how do you find the right person? Try to get a sense of what they do. And sometimes from there they might give you some of the answers that are already shown. Sometimes they might say, oh, I just read a book, but at least it helped me increase my awareness of how do I find the right people if I don't know who the right people are, or if they even exist at all. So that's kind of what I did.
Sounds great. And I definitely agree with that. Like, I think just trying out and like seeing who you can find at your disposal and seeing how they use their people around them to find the right people is also a great way. So as for ways that I was able to find people, here I have first like asking close friends for advice and input. So that kind of depends and varies from person to person. I personally, I think that me and my friends were really close knit and we don't want to be too harsh on each other. So I won't exactly ask them for advice on a decision to make, but I'll ask them for input or suggestions on something that I had done and looking for how I can make little changes here and there. Another thing for those who might not have as much confidence, I was actually able to develop it quite soon, so I was really lucky there. But you might want to reach out through other people, so have a leader or representative who works on the communications and external relations of your company, project, or program or organization. Another thing, connecting with program participants. So like I mentioned, hackathons, business competitions, all these virtual events nowadays are such great ways to find people to be able to be a part of your projects that you're trying to work on and develop. Another thing, educators' lessons. So maybe in like a lecture hall or your professor or teacher had really taught you something that you can take a long way. I think I've learned quite a lot throughout my high school journey and some things that I really take on now going into the future. Another thing I think we always say, like, learning from your elders is really great. They have the best experiences. And it's a little bit of a cliche, but definitely true. They've had sometimes double the amount of lifetime that we have. So they've experienced everything we have already and can give us the best advice sometimes. So for some strengths and weaknesses. So a strength I was really, really proud of our team for having was having a really close-knit community and regular bonding sessions from the start. So we would do some things like being able to build and recognize what we're strong at, what we're individually really great at. So some things we would have are like these weekly check-ins, or like every 2 months we would have just a direct one-on-one meeting with everyone. And these little weekly questions could be anything from what is your favorite ice cream flavor to what do you have as a goal this week. We really just like to get to know each other as best as we can. Another thing, we had focused and honed in on our student audience, our target audience from the very start, and we received support from them from the very start, which was really great. So something we would do was do tons and tons of student surveys. So my friends and I would run down the hallways trying to get students to answer these questions, get lots of responses, as many as we possibly could. And we would ask students questions like, do you feel prepared for after high school? And like, if you could have anything you want, like to support you during your academic years, what would you like? So we just gathered lots and lots of research, and we were able to hone in on our target audience really from the start, which was great. Another thing, and really surprising for us as students, is that we knew things that we could and could not control. So for example, like with these surveys and like with our outreach, we could control how many people we do reach by putting in efforts to get to know everyone. But something we couldn't control or couldn't really change or have input on was how these educators, counselors, or parents would take our platform and would take our, I guess, suggestion for students. And we were really able to be, I guess, more self-aware with that. And I'm really proud of our team for that. Another thing, we had really strong values and a really strong mission statement. So our values range from support, experience, learning, or continuous learning, and passion. So those are all like 4 things that we really hone in on everything we do. We'll take it for like another project, or we'll take them into consideration for another step that we want to do, another outreach activity, and it's really been helpful. And for weaknesses, it's sort of intimidating when it's just us students reaching out to government, reaching out to educators and like parents who are twice or even triple our age. And not that age is anything, but sometimes it's really scary when we are just ourselves, like, and we don't have nearly as many experiences as they do, and we're trying to get advice from them. Second thing here, professional front and brand establishment. So something with a professional front, my friends and our student-led team felt like we had to have was like being really professional, putting on our blazers and feeling like super, super confident whenever we would be able to speak to government officials. And that was definitely true, but we felt like we were really pressured in a sense that we weren't really able, and sometimes we would even question our ability to get out there and get ourselves out there. So brand establishment was sort of on the weekend when we were starting, because we didn't have a reason for why we chose the certain icon in our logo. We didn't have a reason for why we chose the name per se. And it was really kind of hard to build it up from the start. And lastly, sharing information. We try to keep that internal. It was kind of hard when we had like, government officials and like educators who were trying to learn like everything they possibly could about us. So it was kind of hard to keep everything internal, but now we've learned definitely through like project management tools to keep everything as best as we can close to us as we are running the platform. So for some resources, I believe this is like the second to last stage. So slide, I mean. So For some resources on the logistical side, I would say to consider team building or team formation as also a time for team bonding. So getting to understand each other, why maybe a person decided to help and join on your project, or why a person is so keen on a certain area of marketing or business in general. I feel like that really helps your team and being able to work together really collaboratively. Second, spending time researching your target audience more than the potential outcomes. Because like we mentioned, we could definitely reach many students and we could learn where they are, schools and the community and everything. But potential outcomes, that was kind of iffy because it depends on each student. It depends on each parent and educator and really every visitor. And lastly, I had said here, put yourself in the consumer or the customer persona's shoes. So kind of think of your ideal person and who you would want exactly to help. Consider all their problems, all their issues, and why you would be the best solution for them. And put yourself in their shoes, taking them through, where they would go throughout your business, your company, your platform, or really any of your projects, why you would be such a great tool or useful for them in general. And lastly, here I have tools. So Patriot, they are a service that you're able to organize really everything from management and accounting, and it's really, really great. You're able to have use the software for 30 days for completely free if you like. But another thing I really like from Patriot is that they teach you really the very basics of business and accounting and management, like from A to Z. So I put here on the side a little infographic, and this is for how to start a business, just FYI. So they really condense everything for you and put it really, really in a minimal format so you're able to understand it and pick it up really easily. Secondly, I have here Canva. So our team really, really likes working online through collaborative brainstorms. So you can all type at once, and it's sort of like a collaborative PowerPoint in a sense. And something I really love about Canva is that you're able to print out your designs in paper, cardstock, t-shirts, etc. for relatively low cost. So something you could do is print out your project plan on a t-shirt. I just feel like that would be super swag. Definitely would love that. And as for digital grants, here I and along with our team, we had researched everything we possibly could get for free, starting off as a student-led platform and what we could get for free or a really low cost. So some things we would search would be free tools for students, free student technology in your city or your region or your country. And also another good search is tech for good. So some companies who had given us tech discounts were Canva, Notion, Trello, Microsoft, Google, among so many others, which has been really great. And if you are student-led, they definitely want to support you when you are students working for other students, especially. And if you're working for the community, they always just love to see that. So definitely send out your emails. Yeah, so lastly here, this is just key takeaways. And I have so many here that I'm really glad I got to go over. So first here, finding your target audience and how you can directly assist them is really important. Emails and outreach, super important to get your idea out there, get your target audience aware of who you are and what you're doing for them. And lastly, here, brand establishment is key, seeking regular feedback, and trying to learn what you can and cannot control early on. So I have a slide where you can find me on the next slide, but I just am open to any questions right now if you like.
I got a quick question. So how are students like us, students who are not that exposed to technology, how they find out about stuff like digital grants and stuff?
Yeah, so really we try to reach out to our fellow educators and counselors who could support us on starting up, because they're definitely more aware and much more knowledgeable on what is available for students. So I would say to just get to know your community as best as you can. And yeah, that's what I have.
Thanks.
I have a quick question. Did you use Canva to build the slideshow or no?
Yeah, this one actually, Canva, it's super, super great. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed because I saw the little logo on the tab up there. Yeah.
So I kind of want to I kind of mentioned a couple of things. You know, you said you're 17, but you've already been a mentor for Hack the North. You know, you've already done stuff like Odyssey of the Mind. You also had Google Ads grants and stuff like that. Uh, I guess for you, obviously, a lot of this is you going and asking questions and then finding the right people and asking them questions. But what I'm curious about is uh, for a lot of people out there who, you know, they might think, oh, it's daunting. Um, when you go around and ask people questions and then try to find the right people, uh, how hard is that for you? And do you have some kind of stat? Maybe you asked 100 people to get one answer. Just kind of give everyone a sense of how hard it really is, so they don't feel like, oh man, I just asked two people, I get the answer. But how hard is it really?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, oh, I thought I was on mute, sorry. So, like I mentioned, we would be like running down the hallways trying to get students to answer these questions. And that can definitely seem intimidating. So I'm not gonna lie, it was at the start. Something that we did like recognize and like try to always remember was that why we are working on this platform, why are we all trying to develop it? So some people, they also were like me, who they struggled trying to find accessible resources from the start. So they thought it would be such a great platform to work on and be able to build up for other students. We always try to reflect on why we are here and why we're trying to work for students. So that's something we would always remember, is like remembering why we're there. And secondly, I think knowing who is supporting us and knowing that we're all trying to be here for each other is really great. So I would say, like I mentioned, team bonding is really important because you do build a strong foundation that gives you the confidence to actually go out there and get all these responses. And as for like a little stat, so I remember starting off, I don't exactly remember the right amount of students we had asked, but one question we had asked was, do you know where you want to go after high school? And like, do you know like your career route in any way? And even despite like all of these career courses class, I believe like 75% had said they had zero idea what they wanted to do. And there was another like small percent who said maybe, but then some very small percentage said yes, and we were really shocked by that, and that definitely gives us the drive to keep going. Would we be able to see questions from anywhere else, or are we just like letting them roll in?
So like so basically I feel like I do like kind of relate with like struggling to like reach out to people because I feel like with color hacks and stuff, like when I first started, I was actually planning on starting color hacks like December, but like I said earlier in the meeting we had like two days ago, like I thought it was gonna be easy because it was a virtual hackathon, but like that wasn't the case. Lucky enough for me, I like I had my brother and all that, and like my brother helped me through like a lot of things. Like for example, like you were saying like just now about like the small percent of people who know what they want to do like out of high school. Like I'm kind of surprised at the number because I thought it was gonna be a lot bigger than that you said it was. But yeah, I feel like the struggle to like reach out and just like kind of get out your comfort zone is kind of like it's just I don't know. It's just a thing that you don't see that many people like kind of like just getting out there and just putting their foot out there and just dipping their foot in a bunch of waters for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like I mentioned, like I started and actually incorporated us in January of 2020, but I got the idea in November. So that huge gap of like 2 or 3 months, that was
Mm-hmm.
completely spent on research and like developing the idea. So I definitely understand like when people are nervous to take that first leap, but I always just say it's better to take a leap than not to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, doing when you first started working on this, I guess you probably told Darren about it pretty early, right?
Yeah. So, well, actually, well, the thing was that, like I said, like I thought it was gonna be easy because it was virtual hackathons. I was like, I got second run this solo, and like, I got this in the bag. I got my brother. I got all this like information stuff I could do. So like the first like 2 months, I like started with the website, and then I went kind of like a recruiting strategy. So like I've never been to a hackathon before, so I was like, what, let me just attend a virtual hackathon so I could like see how it was because I'd never been to a hackathon before. And then like through that, I started like getting an idea of what collabs was supposed to be like. And then December rolled around, I was like, dude, I'm not. There's no way I'm ready to bring out color hacks to the world like this. So like, I kind of like, I think I need some help. So then I reached out to Kobe, who unfortunately can't be here right now, and then I reached out to Darren. Yeah, we just kind of like, and then I reached out to a lot more sponsors, and I got in touch with Scotty, and Scotty helped me like get in touch with a bunch of other people. So yeah, it's kind of like the story of color hacks.
Nice, I love that.
So Darren, I guess when Dooney first told you about this, what was that like? What was going through your mind?
I honestly, I was just happy that he did reach out to me, because like I'm glad to help. At first, I didn't really know like what to do, but he kind of explained it to me. Yeah, like I think I'm good now.
Yeah, I kind of like had to put them through a boot camp to like understand what was going on and get themselves together. Yeah.
And Galicia, I guess when you first started the idea, I guess for you, you had to kind of put yourself through that boot camp to figure out what is this, and then your team, so they could get the idea of, oh, what is this? And then from there, reaching out to sponsors, partners, grants. And so I guess it probably feels like you're a bit of a drill instructor. It's like, whipping everyone into shape over and over and over every single week.
Yeah, it felt like that from the very beginning. But I think something that helped is like we actually developed like lots of guides and like quick little like one pagers that would like tell you everything you would need to know if you're like completely new and don't know anything about us. So I know that's helped us a lot too.
Yeah, that's great. I guess Dooney, Darren, did we get any questions from the audience for Galicia?
Unfortunately, I'm looking right now because I have it on my other laptop. Unfortunately, we don't. I don't know what's up with the chat. It's like some weird like monkey there, and just like says something went wrong. I don't know. I don't know. I think there's something wrong with the chat, but yeah.
I'm looking at it too. I don't really see anything.
That's
All right.
okay.
Well, at the least, anyone who has questions, we can leave some of Galicia's contact information in the video description below. And obviously, seeing her slides. I guess, Galicia, do you mind sharing that last slide again? That way, everyone can see how to contact you. They can check the video description as well. And
by the way, she's on the. Oh my bad. Go ahead.
Oh, is she on the Discord too?
Yeah, so you could just like DM her, like yeah.
Okay.
So, like that'd be a lot more easier.
Yeah, I'm best available on LinkedIn. I know it's like super great to find people there, and you can definitely connect with me on there. And then as for Instagram, our Instagram is there for leading learners, and we always update like our student audience on any new updates on our platform. So definitely check it out.
All right. Thanks a lot, Galicia. This has been great having you here. If anyone has questions, feel free to reach out. We definitely would love to help you. And if anyone's looking to start hackathons or connect with Galicia, feel free to reach out to any of us. We'd be glad to help you get started on your journey. Obviously, we want to make sure that we help you achieve your goals. So, definitely feel free to reach out. Let us know what you're trying to do, and we'll do our best to help you.
Yep.
All right. Dooney, what's coming up next for Color Hacks people?
So I think tonight we might just do a simple Among Us, but like I'm gonna make like a poll or whatnot to like see what games anybody wants to play. They're like Rocket League, Fortnite, whatever big games they want to play, and then end up making a tournament for tomorrow night. So yeah, like just a mini tournament. So yeah, keep an eye out for like notifications on Discord and stuff. So yeah.
There you have it, everyone. A little bit
this
more
weekend is
us.
like, this weekend is gonna be like a lot more chill because I remember like last weekend just a whole bunch of just packed like live streams and all that. This weekend is gonna be a lot more chill, so you guys can have time to actually enjoy the hackathon.
All right, and anyone who still has not scheduled a pitch workshop or a pitch coaching session, feel free to email me. Check your spam. It's coming from skys@rally2.us. So check your spam. At least get with your teammates and schedule a time with me. I definitely would love to help out. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to all of us, and we will see you